In these examples, we are going to use what we learned about parentheses as a tool for changing order to compute problems. Use a highlighter to highlight the operations in the problem, determine the number of operations to be performed in the problem, and then perform the operations in the appropriate order, showing all intermediary steps. So let's start by reading the problem and highlighting our operations. So 12 divided by parentheses 4 times 3. Notice I said where the parentheses are because you want to say that when you're reading this either to yourself or when you're communicating in class. So you're noting where the parentheses are and how that can change the problem. So we had two operations to perform, and typically when we have division and multiplication we know they have the same order and we work from left to right, but because of these parentheses we're going to do 4 times 3 first. So now we have 12 divided by, well, 4 times 3 is 12. And now we'll do our last operation. 12 divided by 12 gives us 1, which is our final answer. Let's look at the next one. 12 divided by 4 times 3. So we have two operations to perform again. Notice it looks identical to the previous problem except for those parentheses. So let's see if that makes a difference. Sometimes it will and sometimes it won't, so you always need to follow the correct order to be certain. So we have division and multiplication. We're going to do division first because it's first left to right and there's no parentheses. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Now we have 3 times 3, and 3 times 3 is 9, and that's our final answer. Notice our results are different in this case. Let's look at another problem. (5) times -3 times -1. So this problem has parentheses in it, but notice there are no operations to be performed within the parentheses. Each parentheses or pair of parentheses has exactly one number in it. So these parentheses are being used for a different purpose. They are only to indicate that in between these two numbers we are going to perform multiplication. So I'm going to put a line here and here to represent multiplication. So there's two operations to be performed. Okay. And they're both multiplication, so we're going to work from left to right. So 5 times -3 is -15. And we have times -1. Oops, let's underline this a different color. And now -15 times -1, and negative times a negative is positive, and 15 times 1 is 15. So again, note, even though there were parentheses in this problem, it didn't change the order we did the order of operations. They were just outlining our numbers for us. Let's look at the next one. -5 minus parentheses 6 plus -4. Then we close the parentheses. So there are a lot of parentheses and symbols in here, but notice there's just two operations. This is a negative sign applying to the 5. This is a negative sign applying to the 4. And these parentheses are being used as a grouping symbol. So now let's do these in the correct order. So first we have subtraction and addition, but this addition is in parentheses. So we're going to perform this operation first. I'm going to copy the rest of the problem. -5 minus, now we have 6 plus -4, and that will be a +2. So now we have -5 minus 2. That's our last operation to perform. Negative 5 minus 2 is the same as negative 5 plus negative 2, which is negative 7. Let's look at a few more. 8 divided by parentheses negative 4 times 2. So we have division and we have multiplication. So we have two operations to perform. Since the multiplication is in parentheses, we'll do this one first. And we have 8 divided by negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. I put parentheses around this negative 8. I didn't have to, but notice the operation is already performed, so this isn't an ordering or a grouping parentheses. It's just showing us that the negative belongs to the 8, so we don't get it confused with the division symbol. Now we have 8 divided by negative 8. Well, we divide the absolute values. 8 divided by 8 is 1. Since one of the numbers is negative, our result is negative 1. Our last problem, 3 minus brackets 6 minus parentheses 5 plus 2. And then the parentheses and the brackets close. So we have 1, 2, 3 operations to perform. Okay. And here we have double nested parentheses. So we have parentheses inside brackets. And again, lots of times we use the brackets. They have the same meaning as parentheses, but we use it as an outer set of parentheses so we don't have too many of these parentheses symbols confusing us. Okay? So we need to do what's in the brackets first. However, in the brackets we have nested parentheses, parentheses inside brackets or parentheses. So this operation needs to be done first. So let's get started. So 3 minus brackets 6 minus, now 5 plus 2 is 7. And I'll close those brackets. Next we'll do what's in the brackets because there's still an operation in there. So the 6 minus 7. So 3 minus, I'm going to use parentheses now since there aren't any other parentheses left. 6 minus 7 is negative 1. And now we have the last operation of subtraction. 3 minus a negative 1 is the same as 3 plus 1, or 4. And that's our final result.